So we've been talking about Fire Emblem Three Houses for almost 2 years now at this point on this channel. And I'd like to think that we've built up a pretty great amount of hype for the game. At least that's what I've tried to do over the past while. And the goal of today's video is not to ruin that hype for you, not to take something from it, but instead I did want to report on something that's kind of been bothering me over the past couple of weeks as we found out more information about the game, as things have leaked, as people have leaked the ROM online and started to pick it apart and learn more things about it. And this particular topic has kind of been bothering me. So to start off this video, I just want to say that my hype levels are off the rails for this game. Unrealistically so, probably. It's objectively not the best way to go about it, but I just can't help it. I'm so passionate and so excited about this game. I haven't played a second of it at this point, not a single second, and I already love the game a lot. So yeah, that's just the kind of perspective that I'm coming at this from. And if you've been watching a lot of my content, you might also feel the same way already too. So like I said, the goal of this video is not to crush your hype or anything. It's not to hurt your expectations. I guess it's more to kind of temper your expectations and help you to understand what to expect to get out of this game. Because in this particular topic, this particular realm, unfortunately we have some not so great news. Now, the next thing I want to say is I am 100% straight. That's just the case. This particular topic doesn't really affect me personally, but I know that there are a lot of fans out there in my audience, especially some of my buff friends who are more in the LGBT crowd or might be gay or bi or lesbian, whatever you are, under the sun, doesn't matter. But in this episode, this is more catered to you guys. So if you're kind of sick and tired of hearing about this stuff, I've gotten some comments before from folks that are kind of tired of hearing about this sort of stuff and having it shoved in their faces all the time. So if this video is not for you, I will see you in the next one. Sorry guys, I just really had to talk about this particular topic because it's been bothering me. But anyway, for those of you out there, this video today, we're going to be talking about the potential gay options for Byleth as the main protagonist in Fire Emblem Three Houses. So if you are LGBT, if you're gay, if you're looking to figure out what the options are as a male character playing the game as male Byleth, who are your potential S-rank options, your potential supports, the people that you can marry in the game, this is the video to talk about that. And unfortunately, it's not going to be quite as extensive as we might have been expecting. In fact, there's a particular character. Well, let me just say, there's a spoiler warning for this video before we get into that. So before we really get into things, this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to be spoiled about anything, then I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you for watching up to this point. But for those of you that are kind of curious about what Byleth's potential gay options will be in Fire Emblem Three Houses, this could be the video for you. We're not going to be spoiling anything major in terms of plot details, but we will find out who the characters are that Byleth will be able to S-rank, and sort of how their support chains kind of go with Byleth, where they go to, what the kind of end result is. So we're technically spoiling some support conversations and stuff like that with Byleth. If you're okay with that, then stick around. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. But that was your spoiler warning, and now let's get into things. So, I think most of us kind of figured that Claude would probably be a pretty great character to have some potential bi characteristics, or maybe be a gay option for Byleth. And unfortunately, it even kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Like I said, I'm completely straight, so this doesn't affect me. But out of all the main lords that could have had that potential, I think Claude was definitely one of the best matches for this that we could have ever had. And unfortunately, IS kind of flubbed this one a little bit. It looks like he's not. And as male Byleth, you will not be able to S-rank Claude. So, yeah, that one's kind of unfortunate. That kind of hurts me too, especially because a lot of the materials that we've seen of Claude up to this point have shown him to be incredibly charismatic, flirty. There's even a kind of a dance scene where he takes Byleth's hand and presumably dances with Byleth. There's conversations where he kind of flirts with Byleth no matter what your gender is. So he's kind of seemed like this really interesting character, really just kind of playful and fun. And I think out of anybody, like I said, it just fit with him the most. So I'm really disappointed to see that he's not a potential option for male Byleth. Instead, there are 3 male options for male Byleth, and those characters are Linhardt, Louise, and Gilbert. Yeah, that's it, unfortunately. For those of you looking for female options for female Byleth, you've got a couple more options. We're not going to get into those here today. I just wanted to talk about the gay options in this video. But yeah, so those options, you've got 1 student and 2 teachers. None of them really plot-relevant characters, unfortunately. And beyond that, they're not even kind of the most ideal choices. They're not even like, I'll be honest with you, they're not even like average choices. I think Linhardt is fine, but there's a lot of people that, you know, Linhardt is not really their type. And I think, to be honest, Linhardt is probably the best option out of all of those three to be able to get with, and here's why. So Linhardt is the kind of lazy Black Eagles classmate, very interested in crests, but not too interested in, staying awake in class and stuff like that. Intelligent, but lazy, and, his design is up to you as to whether or not you like it or not. I do particularly like the fact that he does really seem like kind of a callback character, kind of a mix of like Reinhardt and Lin. He's a very interesting character in that regard, but personality-wise, he might just not be what you're looking for. And I think from what we know so far, it seems like his supports are actually even the same, whether or not you get with him as female Byleth or male Byleth. So it's not even really catered towards those of you that are looking for male Byleth and male Linhardt action. So, yeah. As for the other two options, we have Aloise. Aloise is a knight of Seros. He really looks up to your father, Geralt, and he has a very, funny and charming air to him. However, we found out pretty quickly that Aloise is married and has a daughter, which means that this option goes from potentially something there to what is going on here. Does his family die in the time skip? What's happening with this? Personally, I didn't look into it to find out if that's the case or not. But the thing with this support, it's actually quite unfortunate. So what I'm referencing for all this information, by the way, is a Reddit post by SunshineMiki. So thank you for the information, SunshineMiki. I'm not personally trying to dive into any of these spoilers. I don't want to get spoiled from the game's main plot or stuff, so I'm kind of trying to be careful here. But apparently the way that Aloise's support chain ends up with Byleth is that you end up marrying a female villager. So even though this is an S support chain with Byleth, if you try to get with Aloise, you're not even getting with Aloise. At the end of the day, I guess you're going to build up your bond with him, but then Byleth is just going to marry some random villager, kind of like Chrom in Fire Emblem Awakening if he didn't actually end up building supports with any of the girls in your cast. So that's a really weird ending, and honestly that's not even a real choice for you guys, and that's kind of disappointing, I think, on top of everything else. Lastly, there's also Gilbert. Gilbert is a teacher in the Garreg Monastery, and he actually seems like he could potentially be the father of Annette. At least that's what's been referenced so far. Like I said, I don't know all the details. I'm not trying to spoil anything for myself too much, but here's what we know about him and his supports with Byleth. So it looks like Gilbert has slight subtext in his S support, but you don't actually end up marrying him. So once again, another kind of meh option. You already had 3 meh options. You might not even have liked Aloise or Gilbert to begin with, and both of those endings don't even really seem like probably what you guys were hoping to get. I think that's pretty disappointing. So it looks like at the end of the day, what you're left with are 3 kind of unfortunate choices, whereas a lot of other characters could have been potential options. So there's a debate that it's kind of silly to make everyone buy, and I kind of understand that, and I'm kind of in that camp as well, but I think they could have given us a couple more characters that are, would swing both ways and maybe had some interesting endings with Byleth or something along those lines. So even though it's like they were trying to be more inclusive, they didn't really hit that mark here either. I mean, it's definitely better than Fates, I guess you could argue, because in Fates, all you guys had as a potential option was Niles, and whether or not you like Niles, that's a different story. Now you've got 3 options, but it's really still kind of just like 1, again. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's the kind of main bullet points that I wanted to hit with this. Really unfortunate. I really was holding out on hope that Claude would be a potential option, but it seems like if you're going male Byleth and you're looking for his S supports with other characters, as far as male characters, these are your 3 options: Linhardt, Aloise, and Gilbert. And 2 of those have some slightly weird endings to those support chains. They don't even really seem like S-rank supports. Yeah, I don't really know how to elaborate on things beyond that. I think it's kind of unfortunate. Like I said, I'm still super excited for this game. I still think it's going to be a really, really great game, but I wanted to temper your expectations because it's kind of unfortunate news to hear, to be honest with you. And it really did seem like we'd have some great variety with this game, and maybe even a little bit more in terms of inclusiveness. And I mean, that's not necessary for me to enjoy the game, but I do feel for some of you guys out there because I know you were looking for something like that. And I know that, games like Fates started this trend. This does continue it, especially for female options. It's definitely pretty good this time around, I'd say. But for MLM options, you guys got a little screwed this time. And I do feel for that. So, I mean, we will be getting future updates to this game. We don't know exactly what that's going to include up to this point. There's the potential, I suppose, for them to include future supports and stuff like that, or maybe tweak some stuff, change some stuff. I don't know. I don't want to get your hopes up, but I just want to mention that is a potential opportunity. But all I can say is that I hope moving forward with the series, I hope things continue to be a little bit more inclusive, and hopefully you guys will have much better options in future entries. Worst case scenario, you could just play as female Byleth and get with any of the characters that you want. That might be an option for some of you out there. I don't know if it's an option for all of you, but like I said, not trying to kill your hype. I still think it's going to be an amazing game, but I just wanted to be honest about what we found out in terms of these potential choices, because even as a straight guy, I'm sitting over here and I'm kind of feeling like that's got to be super disappointing, and it disappointed me too when I found out about Claude. I was really hoping that after the time skip, maybe there would be a potential option with Claude, because he just kind of seems like that fun, charismatic character. It kind of fits with him, and so I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't go that direction with him. Editor Stevie here. So it turns out there might actually be some interesting endings for certain characters, especially if they have built up really good bonds with other male characters. So while students can't actually S-rank with each other, there might actually still be the potential of them having some interesting or maybe suggestive endings with other male students. So I hope that could at least be a little silver lining here for you, and hopefully that will help you enjoy the game further. But ultimately, I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below. No spoilers, please. I mean, I know we're talking about kind of spoilery stuff here today, but please be mindful about what you put in that comment section for other people to see. I don't think anybody really wants to get spoiled. I tried to not spoil you as much as possible in this video. I'm not trying to get spoiled, so please be mindful about that. But I would really like to know your thoughts, and if you're kind of upset about this, how you feel about this, if you're okay with it, and maybe any potential solutions to this that you can find beyond, you know, playing as female Byleth or whatever you have to do to get your headcanon in the right place. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for some more Fire Emblem Three Houses content up to the launch of the game. I'm going to be doing an LP on this channel, playing through the game, picking the Blue Lions route, most likely. And so if you're interested in seeing that, definitely be sure to stick around. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and so on. Thank you so much once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.